I've been a huge fan of Halo since the first game came out. Like many others, it was the first FPS I ever played, and as such it has something of a humongous following despite hardly being the most popular game in 2022. However, this pedigree has led to the franchise becoming one of the most respected IPs of all time, and for that there has been a ton of attention on the television series released by Paramount+. With a budget of $90 million, eyes and ears have long been glued to this show since its teaser trailer way back in late 2021. Of course, we've had TV shows set in the Halo universe before. Forward Unto Dawn and Halo Legends come to mind. However, with repeated attempts to make it into a film constantly falling through over the years, we've never had anything with this big of a budget. That being said, now that the first episode is released and the second is set for the 31st of March, what has the general response been? Well, it's immediately clear that the story differs from the games. It's set before any of the game's timelines and introduces some new characters, but aside from that it takes an interesting new direction, and this is kind of a good thing. Any piece of media that strictly follows the games it's based on in terms of story regularly fails to do well, as translating the unique experience delivered by a video game is extremely difficult to do. It's worth noting there was a massive outcry when the fact that the showrunners hadn't played Halo flew around the news cycle, ensuring many had their hopes dashed for a quality product. However, they revealed that they had focused on the books and lore constructing the universe, which is good. Plus, it's extremely clear the games have a big influence anyway, considering there are references to many of the more memorable quotes. And considering Halo is a sci-fi franchise, it means a lot of CGI is involved, and this is kind of janky. Although the CGI appears pretty floaty and weird in the show, it does stay relatively true to the lore in terms of the brutality of the Covenant and their plasma weaponry. This is clear in moments such as the plasma pistol being charged and blowing an elite's head off, but the shot of the tossed pistol appears to show an unpainted prop. This also happens after Master Chief fires a proper assault rifle, but in the next shot it's a weird CGI mess. The inconsistencies in visual quality can be damning, but to be honest this isn't really what a lot of people want. They just want a decent TV show exploring the Halo universe, and this feels like that's what they're getting. Lore accuracy seems to be the name of the game here, as die-hard fans, the mass of the audience watching the show, are keen to nitpick over many of the smallest details, and it would appear the showrunners are aware of this. Also, we gotta cover the topic of infighting and toxicity within the fandom. Just like other sci-fi franchises such as Star Wars, there is plenty of division between old fans and new fans. Provocations such as the efficacy of Sprint still create rifts between lovers of Halo, even though it was introduced over 10 years ago and hasn't left since. It's interesting to observe these ongoing arguments despite the fact that they never ever seem to simmer down, and in doing so the interest in Halo seems to continue forever. Figuring out whether or not this negativity is a positive thing in this aspect is an interesting concept to consider, as despite the latest iteration of the game receiving positive reviews, it's hardly king of the mountain when it comes to squaring up against other franchises. But the numbers have made it clear that Halo has become the most watched show on Paramount Plus on release, and as such there is plenty of hope for investment and an expanded universe going forward. See you next time on Lessons in Internet Culture.